right. Yeah, welcome to today's session once again. Yeah, as always, I love to start these sessions with just a brainstorming question, right? So, did you know that over 70% of crypto trading volume globally just happens through futures market, right? So, that's what you're going to address today. So, welcome to our webinar today, where we'll be diving deep into Binance futures, right? And we'll be basically just touching everything around futures, showing you how you can be able just to access futures, the benefits of you being able to trade on futures, right? So basically just everything. We'll do a demo if time allows at the end. And the session today is just to cover fundamentals of futures trading, explore key features of Binance futures, and just to show you how you can be able to manage risks, as risk is always so crucial. Yeah, if you're a trader, whether you trade on spot, whether you trade on futures, whether you're a margin trader, yeah, you need to always manage your risk in order to maximize your potential returns. And Binance just offers you the platform that you can be able to do this seamlessly and be able to maximize your returns. I'll be your host, Mabo Charles. Joining me today is Mark Bryan, who will be taking you through the session. So if you have a question, feel free to ask it on chat, whether you're listening on YouTube, Facebook, or Binance Live. Yeah, we are here to address your questions, and we are here to just make you understand Binance futures and the futures market. So I'd love to introduce Mark to the stage, and he can take us through what he's prepared for us. Yes, Mark.
All right. Thank you so much, and good afternoon, evening, and morning, depending on your location. My name is Mark from Ghana. I'm a seasoned trader. I've been in crypto for quite a while. I always say I categorize it into three major parts: the ignorance stage, which I'm very sure we've all been before. You are into the thing, you don't know what you are in, you don't know the purpose, you don't know anything about it. All right. Probably you even lose money. Then I move to the learning stage. The learning stage is where I now see a reason to read about the platform, read about the project, understand what this whole thing is about. And then from there, it goes into the experiential stage. And happened to be a Binance Angel 2 years ago, and it's also a fantastic platform to help me learn and also empower other people. So basically, before we go into futures trading, I will definitely will want to say, do we really understand the concept of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology? The answer might be yes. The answer might be no, depending. But as far as our industry is concerned, you can never stop learning. Since you can't stop learning, I will definitely recommend one academy for you, as simple as that, where you can do all your researches to understand the concept, look for things you don't understand, not for marketing purposes, but on skill and understanding purposes. So we're looking into academy.binance.com, right? So what is academy.binance.com? It's just one website you go. You can get it from your Binance app. You can also get it directly on the website through your Binance account. Some interesting programs are there from beginner level to intermediate level and minimum. Now, when you go there, you have a lot of things to learn. You have a lot of things to learn relating to blockchain, technology, cryptocurrency, and many more, right? Now, the next point is what is cryptocurrency? But before we go into cryptocurrency, let's talk about what is trading. Before we go into trading, we'll ask what is currency? Before we go into currency, we want to ask ourselves again, what is the financial market? Now, Any of these answers, you can probably drop it in the chat comments. Let's read it out to see if you understand the concept very well. So we keep the comment coming, then we'll look into it and see if you understand or any of these terminologies at the end of the day. So I'm going to give a little definition before we go into futures. We are going to take it from theory and then go into a little bit of technical analysis. And also remember, this is for educational purpose, right? It's not any example we're going to use. It's not a financial advice at the end of the day. Before you make any financial decision, make sure you do your due diligence first. Very, very important. Now, cryptocurrency, we all know about cryptocurrency. It's a type of currency which runs on a technology called blockchain. And the interesting point here is the technology. If you spend time on the technology, it is actually more important than the currency because the technology will help you understand the currency, right? So it's going to be a little bit of twist, but this should be something you should go and read on academy.binance.com. Now, the fact that you buy crypto assets, or a lot of people say they belong to crypto, I'm a crypto enthusiast, or I invest in crypto and the rest, we don't have a problem. But if you don't control that crypto by yourself, then you are not a crypto enthusiast. You are not a crypto investor. So there is a difference between buying the asset and then investing on another platform and the rest than trading it by yourself. All right. So it's also another thing you will cover in the session. Now, what is trading the financial market? Now, the trading the financial market refers to the art of buying and selling of financial instruments such as stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities, derivatives, or cryptocurrency with the goal of making profits or loss. Now, the interest aspect is the loss I added. A lot of people, when they go into this industry, all they carry in their mind is profit. So once they make a little loss, they are disappointed. But the definition is adding profit or loss. A lot of business you go into, you either make profit, break even, or loss, right? So you actually take note of this particular point. Trading is not different from you opening up a grocery shop. Of trading the financial market is not different from you going to the market to sell for people to buy, or you go to the market and buy, right? So you need to understand this from the real life point of view and break it down to the online aspect. Now, the key difference here is the products are not the same. Right? The key difference is that the products are not the same. Now, when we say the products are not the same, what are we talking about? In this case, you are trading or you are transacting currencies. You are transacting stocks. You are transacting cryptocurrencies and many more. Now, when it comes to real life trading or buying and selling, emotions are in check than when it comes to the currency trading. Why? Because in real life, your stock is just like the product you are buying. You exchange the money to the product. But in our industry, you are more or less like trading your equity. So you can say your equity is the same as your stock. So the emotion attached to it is very, very high. The advantage over traditional business and trading the financial market is there is data that you can analyze. And when you are able to analyze those data properly, you will or become a good trader, hence make some good profit. At a point, you might lose something, right? So we have different types of trading, which is on category basis or based on what is traded. So we have the stock, we have the foreign exchange market, which is currency trading. We have the commodities, we have options, we have futures trading, we have crypto trading. Crypto trading can still fall under futures trading, but futures is not, it's a subset when it comes to trading. Option and futures are subset when it comes to trading, all right? And then crypto trading. Now, when it comes to crypto trading, it's in different levels. We can classify it to buy a whole derivative, speculation, and the rest. That's when we now bring it to spot and futures, right? And then the risk elements are the same, the goal is not the same, and the rest. Now, when you are a trader, you can operate on short term trading, which is day or scalping, medium term, which is swing, or long term, which is what? Position trading. Probably investor, right? Now, you can use tools like technical analysis approach. You can equally use fundamental approach and be able to predict, project the market and make some decision for yourself, right? So we're going to futures and start with a definition. So futures are contracts that require stakeholders to trade the underlying cryptocurrency at a predetermined date and price. It is thus possible to buy and short, or to long and short, or to bull and bear these futures contracts. All right, so futures contracts are a way for traders to hold leverage positions with no expiration date in a given market. So I'll just go through the slide quickly so we can be able to look at things from chart point of view. All right, so what are advantages of some advantages of trading futures? Ability to use a very small amount as an entry level investment, and the use of leverage. We talk about leverage properly. Possibility of taking advantage of an upward or downward movement. Now, when you are an investor, it might seem like you only want the price should be going up, right? But when you are a trader, you can take advantage of both rising and falling of price. Leverage. Leverage is an additional investment capacity offered by certain financial intermediaries that make it possible to amplify the investor's capital and therefore multiply gains or losses. The concept of leverage is very common. By using leverage, investors can trade larger positions in an asset. And then as a result, leverage amplifies the return of movement, both in profit or loss. So I mostly use examples to talk about leverage. Let's say you are trading currency and euro versus United States dollar is quoted as $1.3, for instance, and the minimum quantity you can buy in the financial market is, let's say, 1,000 units. When you multiply 1,000 by 1.3, that's an averagely about $1,300. Then you have $100 in your trading account. How can you buy an asset worth 1,003 when you only have 100 in your account? So the broker you are using now give you that leverage, that ability to be able to use that same your $100 and be able to trade an asset worth $1,300. Right. So that is what leverage does to us. But then we do take advantage of it wrongly. And once you take advantage of it wrongly, it will definitely screw you up. Right. So we have upon margin is the money needed to hedge the risk of a position. Okay. So if you are using leverage, there is a rule that binds you called margin to make sure that you don't actually abuse or the exchange or the broker still protect itself at the end of the day. So one concept to take into account when talking about leverage is the risk involved. Risk is inherent in any type of trading. However, leverage can cause both amplified profits and losses. To start trading with leverage, it is advisable to start with leverage below 10x. This allows you to minimize the risk of liquidation, right? Liquidation in the real world will be stop loss. You are stopped out of the market. Risk associated with leverage trading. Beginners should be especially careful when practicing leverage trading. It's best to use lower leverage, a popular risk management tool to consider when trading with leverage is a stop loss. If you didn't use stop loss, you will wipe out your account. So, few examples on chart. When you are trading with leverage and then without leverage. So, it's all about multiplying whatever opportunity you have, you multiply it, and it's an opportunity given to you to use in the market. So, how do you create a Binance futures account, right? So, let's assume you are new. I will go to the chat, but you are new. How do you create a Binance futures app? The first question is, which platform are you using? Is it laptop or web version or app version? So if you are using app version, you just navigate to futures, which is at the bottom part of the screen. Once you click there, you'll go through some questionnaires just to help the system understand or let you understand where you are going. So you have some questions to ask. If you answer them correctly, you are going to go through. If you did not answer them correctly, what happens is that they will give you the correct answer. It's just a way to let you know things about where you are going, which is futures trading. All right. If you already have account, once you click on futures, it will just appear on open for you. So that is it on that side. And we have different types of futures you can also trade. When we go to the chart, I'll break them down for you. So how do you make deposits and withdrawal from your futures account? So Binance actually, I would say Binance protects you in advance to create different wallets for different purposes for you. So if it come to futures, you have to deposit into the futures account directly. So to start trading on Binance futures, you must first transfer funds from your fiat or spot wallet to your futures wallet, and that is just as simple as that. We're going to look at it practically. And then how to transfer funds. It's also the same way you bring it in, the same way you bring it out as well. And then same as withdrawal. Before you withdraw, you have to move the fund from your futures back to spot back to spot or funding before you move the fund out of the account. Then checking the wallet, it's also the same, which are things that we'll be looking at technically. So let's go back to business so we can spend a couple of times understanding few things you need to know about futures and the best approach you can use to trade futures, right? So if you have questions, you can drop them in the comment section, or if you're in West Africa, you can ask a question in the West African community. If you are in East Africa, any part of the world you are, there is always a community for you on Telegram. Make sure it's Binance group before you join. And when you join, please follow the rules and not allow anyone to take advantage of you by DMing you and trying to scam you, right? Now, this is a Binance account. So we have, and this is the desktop web version. So we have buy crypto, market, trade, and we have a button for futures, right? We have a button for N, we have a button for Square, and now other products and services Binance offers. So we come to futures, and we have two types of futures. We have the USDS M futures, and we have the Coin M futures, and we have options, right? So I'll start with USDM futures. And when you click on it, it loads and bring you to this side. Okay, when you click on it, it loads and bring you to this side. Now, when it brings you here, the first thing is to know the features of the platform. Just like you buying a new car, and you need to spend some time reading about the manual if you have, or you buy a new device, you spend some time to read about it before you start. If not, there are certain things you might end up looking for it for a very long time before you get it. So let's start with the over here. You see some major pairs and their performance 24 hours ago or within 24 hours. And we have the order book here, which actually give you transaction reports, how buy and sell is happening, and then trades that are happening at the same time, the top movers. That on the right hand side here, the far right hand side, which is very, very important, is the type of margin you want to use and the leverage, right? So we have cross. So whatever you see on Binance, you are actually giving a breakdown of it. So switching margin, cross margin mode, all cross positions under the same margin. Assets share the same asset cross margin balance. In the event of liquidation, your asset full margin balance along with any remaining open positions under the asset may be forfeited. Then you have the isolated. Isolated margin will manage your risk on individual positions by restricting the amount of margin allocation to each. If the margin ratio of the position reach 100%, the position will be liquidated. Margin can be added or removed to positions. Now, you can decide which of these do you want to use, all right? So, before you decide, you probably know your risk management principles and rules that governs you. So, you take it from that angle, and then you'll be able to know exactly what you do. Now, before you open a futures account, you don't just, it's not something you just open randomly when you don't know your way around. Okay. Maybe you've analyzed a chart or an asset, and you want to now come and make a decision. All right. You want to come and make a decision. But then if that is not what you want, you can still come to futures and come and do what we call mock trading. Okay, mock trading is just like a demo trading that allow you to practice your skills first before you start with real money, right? So you have that same feature, which will do some live demonstrations at the end of the day as well for you to see how you can press the button and what happens and how you set everything as well. Then we have the leverage. So we have it from 1x to 75x. Well, sometimes you just spend a little time to read a couple of stuff. Maximum position at current leverage 10,000 USDT. Please note that leverage changing will also apply for open positions and open orders, right? So the red one is very important. Selecting higher leverage such as 10x increases your liquidation risk. Always manage your risk levels, right? So if you have a little time, you can click on the article and you are good to go. But then if you don't have time, then you can be a trader. So academy.binance.com is crucial. Why? Because you can just come back here and search want to know more or what is leverage, okay? What is margin? What is futures? You get answers from this side, categorize for you, beginner, intermediate, or advanced. So back to work. Whichever leverage that aligns or goes with your risk management is what you will put in place, or which of these goes with your risk appetite, right? And the type of trader you are. So we have a conservative trader, a moderate trader, and aggressive trader. Well, I wouldn't advise you to start with aggressive when you are just starting. Maybe if you are experienced, you can, but some people are naturally aggressive. I personally am conservative, so I always do my calculations right before I make a financial decision. Now, after you choose or you go with the leverage you want to, let's say I want to use 5, then you confirm. Well, just to be curious, check if the leverage actually is 5x. As simple as that. All right, so that is it for leverage. And the last thing is the on the top is the asset mode, where you can look at single asset mode or multi asset mode. You can read a little bit about it and see if that is what you want. Then we are good to go. Now we have types of execution. Types of execution. So we have limit, market, stop limit, and buy or long, sell or short is over there for you. Now, when you open the chart, you will see the chart in original, and then we have trading view. So normally, the last time I opened the chart, I was on trading view, which is a integrated third-party platform that give you advanced trading tools and indicators to help you analyze the market properly and make a good decision at the end of the day. So when we leave that stage, we come to the downside here. You will see position, open orders, order history, trade history, transaction history, position history, strategy, and asset. So trades you do, transactions you do, everything you do will be here. And then you can see account, margin ratio, and transfer, buy crypto, swap, buy and redeem. They are all available for you. So this is a full interface of the futures back office. Maybe this is not what you want. You want it a little bit deeper, right? So we will go into how you can do analysis and then get the best out of it and become the best trader. But then before then, we need to take into consideration risk. Okay. Now, if you are a beginner, you don't just start with futures. No. You start with spot. Then you understand the movement. Well, you can still be a beginner and start futures, but then read around it and understand that you could lose all the money if you make mistake, or if you don't understand very well, the market can go against you. Now, if the market can go against you, what do you need to do? You need to define your trading style. You need to define your trading style. You need to plan your trade, right? You need to develop proper trading psychology. Now, these things, as one is like, it's easier said than done, but for the past 5 years, I've been trading, and I'll tell you that emotion is one of the key things to put into consideration when it comes to trading. Okay. Now, if you're not a purposeful trader, you will end up losing money at the end of the day. So you need to try and become a purposeful trader. Now, how do you become a purposeful trader? The first is to learn the skill, right? Properly. Take your time, understand. Um, After you learn the skill, you draw a trading plan. What are the things we can check to be sure they are in your trading plan? That's the question here. You need to set your lot sizes you will use. You need to define the assets you will be trading. Okay, we have thousands of assets in the crypto space, and we have a lot of assets listed on Binance. How do you check those assets? When you click here, you can see we have plenty assets. Do you really need to trade all these assets? Not really. You might be confused. So you can pick a couple of them that speaks your language. You can pick a couple of them and understand how they move. You pick a couple of them and check what moves them. Are they technical based assets or fundamental based assets? Do they move with sentiment? What creates the demand and the supply for that particular asset? If it is support resistances that works with them, then you will learn how to spot support resistances. If it is zones that works with them, you will learn how to spot zones that work with them. If it is demand supplies, which works with almost everything, you also need to know, right? So we are going to select a couple of assets, and I wish the comment section is very active so that I take an asset from the community, right? So maybe you can put an asset in the chat box. If you are listening from Facebook, I can be able to read your comment. So just to let you know that we've been reading your comment. If you're on Facebook and you're listening right now, you can drop an asset you want us to analyze live. Okay, so Albert Amachi says XRP. Okay, so I'm going to analyze XRP, and we are going to focus on it for a while until I see another asset. So it means that Albert is watching us live on YouTube. All right. So shout out to Albert. All right. Now we are going to, okay, we are already on XRP. So what I'm going to do is that I will delete my analysis, right? And then reproject for you fully. Now, before I go into how I analyze the asset, please, I want to kindly remind you that I am not a financial advice. This is just for educational purposes, right? Now, for you to get a full screen, you click on this side and you can see the chart with or on a full screen. And TradingView have the ability or give you the ability to drag and move the chart all around. So you can see that the data presented to us is from January 9th, somewhere January 7th through to today. That's the data we have. So with this data, you can see the when the price XRP was launched, the lowest it created, and the highest it created. Okay. Now, before we go into that side, I want to check if anyone dropped another asset. Okay, so nobody dropped any other assets. So I will just be analyzing, but I need more assets. So we see a little bit of dynamism. And Mr. Charles, in case you get some from Telegram, you can please let me know as well. Okay. Now, What are the first thing you should know when it comes to the chart? Before you come to the chart, you ask yourself, what approach will make sense for you? But then before you even go to what approach will make sense for you, how do you want to see the chart? We have the most common way to read the chart, which is candlestick. And then we also have line chart. So when you click on this button here, you can see the chart in bars. So just to zoom out a little, this is how the bar chart looks like. I didn't use bar chart before. I don't know how it works, but I know that it gives information to people that understand it. And it looks like everything is linked together like a ladder, right? So people trade with the bar chart. You can also use the candle, which I would say I understand very well. Spent a couple of years looking into it. We also have hollow candles. We have a kinashi. We have line. So sometimes I use line chart because I understand patterns. So maybe there's something I'm looking for, or with candles, I'm not getting it. I use line. Now, just to talk about line and candle, there is quite different between them when it comes to price. For example, let's say I see this particular as the highest price, okay? And I see this particular place as the lowest price. The truth of the matter is that when we change it to candle, when we change it to candle, you will realize that it actually based on opening and closing of prices, which means if you are using the line chart, you will not look at the high of the price and the low price created, which might be a disadvantage to you as a trader because maybe you need the wick, which is the shadows of the candlestick to make a good decision for yourself. So this is where you see the types of ways to see the chart over here. Now we have the next button, which is technical indicators, right? So there are a lot of debate around technical indicators. People have their own perception, people have their own theories and everything. People say it does not work and the rest. But the truth of the matter is that it works. Yes. Depending on how you understand the purpose of you using it and the mathematical principles behind that particular candlestick, the type of candlestick. For instance, when we take moving average, we have different types of moving averages and their purposes and parameters. So if you are using a moving average, you need to check which parameter. How does it work? Moving average generally is a lagging indicator. People debate it, but my point is, when you start and you want to be successful in trading, or you want to be a successful trader, you should understand that your opinion and your discoveries is what will work for you. Whether you like it or not, almost everything we are studying today is someone's discovery. So until you personalize it and you make some discovery yourself, you might not be able to defend exactly what you are doing, right? Then we have oscillators. Oscillators are also types of indicators, right? And moving averages and the rest, they fall into trend. So they project the trend for you. Okay. Then we have oscillators. Oscillators help you identify the swing nature of price in the market, right, within a particular period. So it means that if you want to use some indicators, you need to understand period, or you need to measure the assets you are looking into according to period. Within this period and this period, what is price doing? Now, oscillators, you will also look around convergence and divergence indicators, which help you know exactly what market is doing. So what is a convergence? And then what is a divergence movement? Maybe if you have an idea, drop it in the chat box. If you don't have an idea, come to academy.binance.com and check convergence or divergence and what is the difference between them. You will get a very beautiful article on it, right? Then we have volume, momentum, and other types of indicators. When you spend time and read about them and you get your combinations right, I can tell you for a fact that indicators work. Now, in a general sense, what are indicators? Definitely, we use health. They are like parameters given you, and you align it with to be able to determine something. Now, when we bring it back to forex trading, let's say candlestick is an indicator telling us what price is doing and then how price is being interpreted. Okay, it's telling us everything other people in the world are thinking because you are with your computer. How do you know people there is demand? How do you know there is supply? So indicators help you know if there is demand or there is supply, right? So this is for indicators. Spend some time, pick few of them, read about it. Don't just get someone using indicator or principle, you jump into it without understanding that principle and the rules that governs that principle. If you don't understand, you will trade the wrong way and come back and say, oh, this thing does not work. You are the problem. Okay? So that's for indicators, and you can get it by clicking this button. So we have a lot of them on Trading View. Which one do I use? Personally, I on a lazy day, on a lazy day, I use four moving averages, which are exponential moving averages, and I use 50, I use 200, I use 9 and 4, and I apply it to close, and I use it not to make a decision in the market, but to confirm a decision I want to make in the market, right? So depending on what you want to use it for is fine. Now, if I want to make it a little bit complex, I add moving average convergence divergence, which is MACD, and it helps me identify mid-range and also look at a point where the market is converging or diverging as well, right? So you can pick one or two trend indicators, and you can also add an oscillator with a volume indicator, then study them properly. They will definitely give you some information you're looking for. You could also use it to get confluences. All right. Maybe you analyze the market, candlestick give you the confirmation, but you are not seeing that thing, and you have an indicator that can help you confirm. You can look at it. Right? So that is it for indicators. I'm not against it, and I'm not for it, but I'm saying that what is the reason for you adding that indicator, and do you understand the breakdown of that particular indicator and its purpose? If yes, you are going to. So that's it for indicators. And most important thing next is time frame. So we have time frame, and if we are talking about time frame, then we are talking about candle, right? Then if you are talking about time frame and candle, we can talk with period. For example, I am reading the market on daily time frame. So it means that I'm expecting price interpretation every day. Now, within a day, how many 4 hours do we have? So if I spot a candlestick on a 4 hour, on a daily time frame, and I want to get an interpretation for that candlestick, I can highlight that candlestick, then come to 4 hour to interpret how that candle was printed on the 4 hour time frame. Then maybe I go to 1 hour time frame and make a decision. Now, dealing with time frames depend on the type of trader you are. So you always hear us saying that start with a bigger time frame where you get the structure of the market, right? The outlook of the market, the nature of the market. You understand those three things. Then you can now get the direction of the market, maybe from the same bigger time frame or a little bit down. Now, who are you? What type of trader are you? Are you a position trader? you swing trader, intraday trader, day trader, scalper? Scalpers, they make decision within a short period or within until they get profit, they come out. So these things will contribute to your entry and exit rules. You need to identify your entries and exit rules. What is an entry and exit rule? A professional trader needs to know an exit point before entering the trade. We have two types of exit point: take profit or stop loss. So if you enter the trade and you don't know if you should take profit or you should hold the trade and stuff, just know that you're not a trader, you are playing, right? So time frame can help us understand interpretation of price uh, within minutes, hours, and then we can collate it together to understand period. For instance, if we are looking at, you want to analyze April market. That means you can go to monthly time frame and check how April performed, then come to weekly time frame. Within that April, the 4 weeks, how did the candlestick printed? All right. Then you go to daily time frame and factor it into the type of trader you are. Now, if you're an investor, definitely you should be looking at bigger time frame. All right. But the bigger time frame also help you understand structure of the market. For instance, when we bring SRP now to weekly time frame, we can be able to see a couple of things, and that is what I'm going to use for my analysis. Right now, before then, let's talk a little about candle. What is a candlestick? Well, we can say it's a graphical representation of uh, price movement on the chart. All right, but it goes beyond that. It helps you know everything, including the indecisiveness of traders in the market. I can also say probably it helps you communicate with other traders you are not seeing, right? It helps you understand the market. Very, very important. Okay. Now, one thing you should put in mind when you are trading crypto assets is that they are volatile, right? And they move based on demand and supply in most cases, right? So you can see that between 2023, yeah, squeeze a little, between 2023, price XRP was consolidating, 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 and push. This push here, then there was a demand created. Okay, so we will pick this particular level to project something. Like I said, not a financial advice, right? Probably it's my own opinion, and I'm sharing with you. So don't just pick it to go and make decision with it without properly analyzing it. Now, the asset you are looking at, is it having a structured pattern? XRP doesn't have a structured pattern yet, but we can now get a structured pattern. Remember, you can be a technical trader or you be a fundamental trader. So if you are a technical trader, history is very important to you. What happened before relating to what is happening now, and what is happening now to what happened before, how will it communicate to what will happen next? Yeah, that is very important for you to understand. Now, different types of candlesticks and their purposes is very important. So this is something you can just do by go to academy.binance.com and learn about candlestick. But quick one, candlesticks have four important things, right? They have the opening price. So we have the opening price, we have the closing price, we have the high, we have the low. So the distance between the opening price and the closing price, okay, is the body of the candlestick, right? If the market opens below and closes above, is a bullish candlestick or a buy candlestick. If it opens above and closes below, it's a sell candlestick or a bear candlestick, right? Or a selling candlestick. Now, the distance between the open price and the low price, and the distance between the close price and the high price, is the shadow of the candlestick or the wick of the candlestick. Now, the name and type of candlestick depend on the body of the candlestick in relation to the wick of the candlestick. And the body and the wick of the candlestick communicate to you what is happening in the market. So if you want to master it, you can spend all your time understanding the concept of candlestick. But it's one language that speaks well for me as well. All right. Why? Because it is the action in price. Okay. It is what the market is doing at the end of the day. This is the only language you can understand. All right. It's a default language that you should know by heart. Okay. Now we have different types of candlestick and you can categorize them. We have from simple candlestick and complex candlestick with their names. I cannot teach all that here. So I refer you to Binance Academy. Just read a little bit about candlestick, type of candlestick. I can mention some of them to you. We have them as the full body candlestick, Marubozu candlestick, can be classified into Marubozu open, Marubozu close. Can be bullish, can be bearish. They normally look like there is a momentum in the market when they are forming. They actually give you either no wick or a small wick when they are moving, right? So when the Marubozu is forming, you could just understand that, okay, the market might actually continue for a while until you see rejection candles. What are rejection candles? They are candlesticks that they have a little long wick with a small body, like this one. This is a rejection candle. This is also a rejection candle. It only means that price went all the way up here, buyers push price up here, and sellers push it downward. That is a rejection candle. We have different types of rejection candle. We have doji, we have the hammer, we have the dragonfly, we have the spinning top, and a lot of them. Okay. Now we have combinations of the candlestick where we have the bullish engulfing candlestick, or let's say the engulfing candlesticks, the harami candlesticks. We have the piercing lines, we have the dark cloud covers, the piercing line, the dark cloud covers, the haramis. They actually are reversal candlesticks. They could actually form on a reversal basis, or they could also form in a continuation basis. So where those candlesticks form, it's also very important. The formation of the candlesticks helps you understand if there is a price support, price resistance, demand, a zone, resistance zone, demand or supply created, and the next move of the market. Well, do technical analysis work always? That all these candlesticks, when you understand, you can always make money? Not always, because there is a point where fundamental shift the market. But some way, somehow, if you understand market dynamics, you could actually be able to take charge of the market and know the next move with confirmation as well. All right. So basically, this is just a framework of candlestick for you. Okay. So it also helps you know everything as far as history, current data, and then projecting current data is concerned. Now, we have some other tools to help you utilize and make analysis properly. We have the lines, channels, we have the Fibonacci, my best friend. We have the gun. So I will talk about Fibonacci today, definitely. Yeah, you can join us on 15th, yeah, on Binance Square again for another version of FIB, and then some way that you can project the market. Then we have patterns. There are some formations that can give you clue to what market is doing, right? So whichever strategy you want to use is just to confirm what price is doing at the end of the day. So you have from XABC pattern, true, Elliott wave impulse, and the rest. I don't use almost all of this. You can just find what works for you and focus on it. Then we have the projection tools. We have text, we have reaction or emojis. Market goes in your favor, you can frown your face and stuff like that, right? So now, let's get to work. Let's say I'm just new to XRP and I want to analyze it. What's the first thing I'll do? Right. So I will first identify swing points. Okay, so swing lows and swing highs. Right, that's the first thing I do. So let me clear everything. So, ouch, sorry. Yeah. All right. Um, okay, so I'll fill the chart nicely. All right. Now we have a beautiful structure from XRP formed here. So I'll just get a very beautiful structure here. So from here to here is my focus right now. Market jump from here to here, straightforward. Before then, it actually went here and pulls back to the point. But currently, I'll just take it from here to here. So the first thing I do, okay, is I will take the Fibonacci tool, draw it nicely from the bottom to the top. That's the first thing I do. All right. So let me just explain a little bit about the Fib. Before then, let me check this quickly. All right. Um, okay. All right. So before then, normally the Fib has some numbers, and you can read about Fibonacci in an academy.binance.com, but it has numbers from where you draw it from to the point you are, which is from zero, from 100 to zero, and you have some areas or important areas you could consider. Those areas could be potential support levels, resistance levels, reaction points, and the rest for you. Okay. Now, if those areas could be potential levels, reaction levels for you, then what are we looking at right now? So if you look at this structure now, we can see that price went all the way up and get to this particular base, and then putting close below 0.618, a little bit below 0.5, and then price start going up. That's the thing. Okay. Now it gives me a clue. And that clue, I can maintain the Fibonacci or leave it. But before then, I will pick some important areas that makes a little sense to me, right? So this is the last level price got to. This is also an area price went to, right? So these 2 points are important to me. Before then, price moved from this point to this particular point. So I have four levels, four interesting levels. Now, if you want to check, and analyze, aside the levels, how important are those levels? That's another question. So now, what you see me doing is that I will consider the bodies and the wick. So this is weekly time frame. I take into consideration the body. Then I take into consideration the bodies as well. Okay. So normally, what I do now is to draw a box, something like this, and something like this. Okay. Now, there's a theory I personally developed from that. But then I clean you can clean the lines once you draw the box. Well, some people will tell you that your chart should be clean, right? So I don't have a problem with your chart being clean, but whether it's clean or not, you are here to make money. That's my own philosophy. So whatever you are doing to make good money and understand what you are doing, please, that's what matters. Whether the chart is clean, the chart can be clean and it will give you money. And the chart too cannot be clean and it's giving money. All right. So with these, there's one more thing I will do. Okay. So normally I will take the distance of this low, the high and the low into consideration. Now, when I take it into consideration, I will find a center of that. Okay. I'll find a center of that. Now, when I find a center of that, I will then start looking at reaction at the center of that place, or divided by 4. Now, over here, I've understood that the market went up and pulled back. So we can call this retracement. Price retraced. We use Fibonacci tool from here to here. It retraced to 61.8 and it's pushing up. So where is it going? Now, when we take into consideration this candlestick structure, the probability that price can get to 2.9 is high. Now, that's when probability comes in. Now, before price get to that level, it means that a candlestick needs to close above this level. Let me give it color yellow, right? So a candlestick needs to close above this level. Why this level? This level reject price before. Okay, let me see. On the 17th, price got rejected here before. So what's the probability that price will get rejected? Price will reject here again this time around. Okay. Now we've done this on a weekly time frame. We can say that we understand the structure, the nature of the market. Then we come to daily time frame. So when you come to daily time frame, you will now start seeing patterns and then how price moved. Now, when you look at how price moved on XRP, it gives us a level up here, which is around 2.0 as a potential support, and liquidity was trapped. Okay, liquidity was trapped here. That's those who don't know how to set stop loss will definitely be cleared out of the market. And according to the daily time frame, we have rejection here 6 March, another rejection 19th, and price is somehow getting rejected here. The question is that will market close, will price close above 2.5? If yes, we will expect a break of that structure. Then, yeah, a breakout structure and a retest. I will wait for price to break and come back here. If that happens, then it means that I will go bullish targeting this level or into this zone, which is 3.2. So now this is how you go around it, and then you understand what market is doing as well. Now, what of BTC, right? That gave us many reactions, many levels of prices, many patterns in the past, and the rest. Okay, so let me load BTC quickly, and we look at BTC. So this is of BTC, and if we go on daily time frame, BTC has given us a lot of movements in the past, plenty patterns, plenty formations as well. So the same thing, you look for swing points, right? Consider how price is moving, the reaction of price within a specific period, the previous highs, the previous lows, and all the structure that's formed before. Then you factor in where the demands will be and the supplies will be, right? So this is how you just simply analyze the market. But please, this is just 1 hour with you. You still have some work to do to be able to develop that experience and the understanding first before you start trading. So read something a little, and then you should be able to know what you are doing. All right, now let's say you've analyzed now. This is BTC. So let's say you've analyzed now, and you want to make a decision, right? So you can make an instant order execution, which is buying the asset at the current price. Okay, buying the asset at the current price. Or you go with a pending order. Maybe price is not yet at where you anticipated to make the decision. So let's say we have BTC here. It actually gave me something I always look for as well, which is very important for my next decision. So normally I love to draw lines because it helps me understand the market very well. So I love to draw lines very well. So I will draw a box on this nicely like this and get a center of that. Okay. So which is this particular level normally, right? This is not financial advice. So if I've divided it into two, this is on a daily time frame. You can do it on a monthly time frame and stuff. I will then divide again into two again, somewhere here and somewhere here. So let's say I'm looking for a buy opportunity. It means that I will not make a decision at the center. That's just what I want to tell you. For instance, I will not be buying or selling here. Like I don't do that. Maybe I want price to come all the way to this level again before I will buy, and price is here. What order can I use? I will use a buy limit. So I'm expecting price to come here first before buying. Okay, so you set a buy limit. What if you want price to get here before selling? You look for a sell limit. So this is where you take advantage of the limit orders, the market execution orders, and then stop limit orders. So we have the stop market, trailing stop, post only, scale order. Then we have the buy limit, we have the sell limit, we have the market execution limit as well. All right, so this is it, our futures trading. If you still want to know more, you could join the Africa Binance Crypto School and learn more about futures trading. And the more you practice, the more you know. The more you practice, the more you understand. And that is just it. Albert, we've analyzed your XRP for you. You can use the assets, go and do reanalysis, and get your confluence and be able to take maybe some short or some long. On that note, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you happy futures trading.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. That was quite informative. Yeah, happy to always look at the charts. I know people are always excited just to have practical sessions where we take a deep dive into price action, looking at the charts, and just simple analysis. So, guys, if you're listening in, we have a Square AMA on Thursday this week. So sometime, sorry about that. Sometime feel free to join in where Mark will be demonstrating more just on analysis and diving more into futures. So with that, we've come to the end of the session today. Thank you so much for joining in. Wherever you are, do have a lovely evening, and let's connect on Thursday on Binance Square sometime for another session on futures. So take care wherever you are.